Another wonderful day to all our online learners. Once again, this is Sir Noy Gonzaga, a licensed teacher and a registered nurse, bringing to you this online program called Instructor's Compass. This program aims to educate people through tidbits of knowledge to inculcate learning even in the most unusual way. Our topic today is the nurse educator's care methods. Again, our topic today is the nurse educator's care methods. If you have scanned through the literatures involving educational methodology, there are many of them authored by various people and coined by different teachers. As a humble nurse teacher, I can recommend all of them in situations, of course, that will fit them. However, there is one methodical characteristic of care that is very prevalent and noticeable in the nurse educator's profession. That is the care factor in education. Well, let us first define what is nursing education. This is an education in the nursing profession setting wherein the environment defines the workplace of a nurse. The nurse educator is then a nurse tasked to do education in the field of nursing. Now, to place this in a general scope, nurses are only the representatives of the healthcare system. Why? Because the healthcare system is a team of medical professionals, and if taken as a whole in the field of education, they are called the health educators. Now, how will care factor in the healthcare or the health educator's function as a professional? Let me repeat that. How will care factor in the health educator's function as a professional matter? Well, care is defined as love in action. I love this definition. Care is defined as love in action. That is why care is much more a functional term in actual healthcare than the word love, which is a static factual term that may mean a statement of fact rather than a statement of action. That's why in healthcare practice or in healthcare education, care is more important than the word love, because care is action and love is just a static statement. In the field of healthcare, there are actually 5 educational roles. First is the promotive educational role. Second is the preventive educational role. Third is the curative educational role. Fourth is the rehabilitative educational role. And fifth, which is also the last, is the palliative educational role. Each of these roles are always lubricated with care, as healthcare is always built or based on care, or that is love in action. Now let us take this up one by one. In the case of promotive health education, clients here are not really sick and have no signs of getting sick or no threat around them. So education here is more of promoting a more healthy environment or maintaining an already healthy environment, and that is implemented by caring for a community without sickness, rather with greater aims to have a more fruitful and healthy environment. So this is improving what is already great. Now, let us take in the second one. In the case of preventive health education, clients here are not also sick, but they have health threats around them that can someday cause their sickness. At present, they are totally healthy, but time will come, the threat will overtake them and will cause their health problems. Now, education here will be about caring for the community with the aim of informing them of what to do and what not to do in order to be able to succumb to the threat facing them. Care here is most likely a reminder of things that will be done in order to maintain a healthy community. Yes, there is no sickness present, But again, noticeable threats are seen to be coming, so that is why it is combated by preventive educational care. Now, an example of this is there is really no sickness in a certain area, but there was construction already of a national highway. So, the tendencies now of people being bumped by transportation resulting into vehicular accident is very high. So education here can focus actually on how to exist in a community with lesser risk of being in a vehicular accident. Now, in the case of curative health education, this is the third one. Sickness is already present, okay? And educational care is now shifted from actual health problems to a healing process. That is why it is from the word cure, which means from a state of sickness to a state of non-sickness. Care here is most likely hospital or healthcare based. Actual demonstration of how to heal from a present condition is expected. Now, the focus of care is for patients to understand the importance of the interventions of care. Thus, when they do understand the urgency of the care actions, they will follow and health will be restored from a state of being unwell to a well condition. This is actually the focal point of health education because there is an actual problem here, and the good thing here is there are available situations to these problems, and the route that will cater to this solution is through client education by the healthcare professionals. So a good example here is a person who may have LBM or lost bowel movement. So you can care for the person because the person is now suffering from this bowel instability. So you can teach the person what to eat or how to go about with this, and then when the person goes back to normality, their bowel movement is already fine and their stomach is not already aching, then you have promoted cure. So this is curative education. Now, the fourth, in the case of rehabilitative health education, care here is from the time the client was healed from the actual sickness to the time the client will be back to full physical condition. Remember, healing from sickness does not necessarily mean gaining right away the normal physical condition. So care education in this process is more of teaching the client how to regain strength and how to slowly but surely obtain his or her physical original condition. Oftentimes, this is supportive educational care because clients here can always determine their limits. Nurse educators just have to guard and remind these clients regarding the extremes. So a good example here is if a person healed from a fracture and the person was already discharged from the hospital, from the time of discharge, the person is already considered as well, but not yet physically able. So from the time that this fracture, will go back to the physical normal condition, this is under education by rehabilitation. Now the last and the fifth. In the case of palliative health education, here, care has something to do with easing the pain but not necessarily healing the sickness. Methods of care here focuses on letting the client understand that sickness is real and there are other ways to spend life to the fullest even with the presence of this hardly cured sickness. In this health education method, we are not lying as professionals that our clients can die or they can have permanent disabilities because their cases are terminal or their cases are non-restorable to the original form. However, we can always let them feel great in the days that they can still feel the greatness of life or still feel the greatness of normality. Palliation is more of removing the pain but not the sickness. Our health educational focus here is preparing the patient for the great eventualities of life. Now, you have noticed that in each of the health educational roles that a healthcare professional has, there are also corresponding goals and focus that should not be forgotten, because missing this will also mean ineffectiveness of care. This is the greatest point why care in health education is not just an action, but an accurate way of addressing our learners who are also the clients of the healthcare system. I hope you have learned from this simple presentation regarding the healthcare educational methods. Oftentimes, care is not really enough. It's about the correct way of giving care and the correct care for the exact situation. Education may not be accurate, but should be logically focused. Have a great day, everyone. This is your online instructor, Sir Noy Gonzaga Jr., and this is the Instructor's Compass. Have a great moment of care.
If you can